Hi, I'm Matt Badiali, and I'm here with your marijuana market update. And I have a special guest with me, Matt Clark. Matt, nice to have you with me.
Thank you for having me on, Matt. I appreciate it. It's going to get. Hopefully, it's not too confusing with two Matts doing the doing this together, man.
More is better, man. More is better. So,
it's a great name. What can you say?
So, Matt, you're going to be taking kind of a lead on this from here on out with marijuana market update.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I was asked about the idea, and I thought, there's absolutely an audience for that. I think people are very interested in this segment and in this market. And obviously, with coronavirus, you're seeing retail sales in the cannabis industry just explode where it's legal, and I think there's a lot of good things on the horizon for the cannabis market, and it's definitely worth investors' time to look at some of these companies that are making inroads.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So I put a couple of names in the Real Wealth Strategist newsletter in May, and 50% from May on Apria. I mean, we're doing really well on those picks. I have one to run by you, right?
Okay.
So since this is my last one of these, I have a company that I think the listeners, the readers will enjoy. It's called GrowGeneration, and these guys are the premier hydroponic supply company. So think about them as a picks and shovels play. They don't grow, but they sell you all the stuff you need to grow. 335 million market cap, U.S. listing, right? So its symbol is GRWG. They have 11.4 million in cash, 7.7 million in debt. So plenty of cash, not a whole lot of debt. But the thing that appeals to me most about these guys is that they're free cash flow positive in 2020. So they're actually making money. And when I look at some of the smaller cannabis names, finding a bulletproof balance sheet is really, really hard to find. And finding that balance sheet and profitability, it's like a unicorn. So I'm really excited. What do you think about that?
Cannabis companies are in kind of a state of flux right now. I don't think there's any surprise to that. You've got legalization questions that are really kind of, putting a seatbelt on cannabis companies in terms of what they can do, because this has become a state by state legalization question. It raises all sorts of issues with interstate trade and commerce that could really make these cannabis companies grow when and if that ever comes to fruition. And the other thing that I think that cannabis companies need in order to see the success that they have the potential for is they need big capital investment. You see it with Canopy Growth, CGC also trades on the New York Stock Exchange. This is the largest market cap company in the cannabis sector in the world, and there's a reason for it. And that reason is because you see big investment by a company called Constellation Brands. This is the company that makes Corona beer as one of its products, but it's a large cap company that has decided, hey, we find this to be a worthwhile investment to make. And this is one of the reasons why you see Canopy Growth become where it's at, because it has this large money behind it to invest in new things such as new ventures. They're entering a drink market now. They're looking at that in Canada. And having that large capital investment by another company really kind of opens the doors. In looking at Grow Corp, I'm looking at my chart over here at it. I can tell you that, I agree with you. The fact that it's making money is something that makes it rare in the cannabis industry in and of itself, because that is very, very hard to find, simply because of, where it's at, where the market is. It's got a 1 year, sales growth rate of 164%. I mean, that's impressive. Its earnings per share 1 year growth rate is 91%. Also very impressive. The only concerns I have, and it's not really a concern per se, its return-ons are a little less than I like, but then again, it's much better than the industry average. Its return on equity is about a -1%. The industry average is -5%, so it's doing better than the rest of its industry peers, which is good. The value of the stock is a little bit of a question for me in terms of its price to cash flow. Right now, with its price of, I think it's around $8 a share. give or take right now. It's $7, $8 a share. Its price to cash flow is still 434. And that's a tough pill to swallow. I think in terms of something in the long term that has a potential for growth, I think GrowGeneration has a lot of potential. It really just kind of depends on what your investment strategy is. Are you looking for a quick hitter that's going to make you, 10, 15, 20%? If that's the case, GrowGeneration probably isn't it. If you're looking for something to hold that can capitalize on a potential federal legalization of cannabis, or a further expansion of state legalization of cannabis, then I think GrowGeneration has a lot of potential because of what it does. In that they're not selling cannabis; they're selling the tools and the horticulture behind the cannabis, behind cannabis growth, and I think that's what makes it very unique. Is it an investment you want to get into right now? I don't know that I necessarily see a problem with getting into it right now. I don't know that you're going to see massive gains right away, but I think that's true with any cannabis company right now. You're not going to see massive gains anytime soon.
Yeah, the thing I like about GrowGeneration, 27 stores in 10 states. And every time a state legalizes, they have to start from zero. You can't grow marijuana in one state and bring it over the border. You've got to set up your grow in the state, right? Yes. And that to me is kind of where GrowGeneration really has its edge, because when you're starting out, you need all the stuff. You need the lights. You need, assuming you're going to grow indoor, which most of these guys are. Mm-hmm. That to me is its growth strategy. But I agree. I see it as it's an airplane that's taking off right now.
Yes.
We haven't hit 10,000 feet with it yet. Right. And honestly, in the long run, I see these guys as an acquisition for somebody rolling them up. I
agree. I think a company like a Canopy Growth or Aurora Cannabis or Tilray is going to come in and look at a company like this and say, you know what, in order to get us a better market share and to get us into a different segment of the market, this is a good play for us. And I think it's the way it's priced right now, and the way it'll probably fluctuate between that. I mean, it hasn't hit the $8 mark in terms of stock. I think it's going to test that, but I don't know that it's going to surpass it. But even at that, and utilizing its shares outstanding and its market cap, it makes it a very affordable investment for a larger company to come in and scoop up and say, this is a good segment for us and an easy way to do it.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at like Scott's Miracle Grow, they have a division that does this, right? Mm-hmm. And so you could see this as a takeover candidate for like a Lowe's or a Home Depot, or, somebody who's looking if you're looking to get into that sector, it's a bolt-on for a company like that.
Absolutely.
And then your growth, it looks a lot better, but we'll have to see where that goes.
Absolutely. But yeah, for right now, I think, if you don't mind, a little bit of fluctuation and probably not a lot of growth in terms of the share price, I don't see any reason why GrowGeneration wouldn't be worth, buying some shares into. If you're looking for, like I said, a quick hitter, there's not really a lot of cannabis stocks out there that are going to be quick hitters at any time soon. So we've got a lot of either potential headwinds or potential tailwinds depending on election and things like that. There's a lot of factors in the cannabis market that makes it very difficult to gauge. And, you don't have those companies that you can rely on, or those sectors you can rely on, like, biotech or technology that can produce a company you buy today and in 2 months it's 100% return. That's just not the case here. You just don't see that. But that doesn't mean I think you have to be down on the entire industry. I don't think that's the case at all, because you do have some very good companies that are making some very strong inroads, whether it be here in the U.S., in Canada, specifically in Canada. Canada has got a very rich market that I think is poised for even more growth. And then you have Europe. That is also another strong market for a company to get into. But yeah, GrowGeneration, it's got that unique niche that makes it attractive. Fundamentally, technically, it's not attractive really at all. But I think because of the niche it's in, I think there's a lot of potential for it.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, thanks very much. And Matt, best of luck going forward. I hope everybody out there is looking forward to you taking over this slot. I know I am. And with that, I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks very much for watching. This has been your Marijuana Market Update. I'm Matt. He's Matt. Don't forget, subscribe on the button below. Give us a like. Give us your comments and let us know how we did. Thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye.